welcome to ucremedia.com. My name is Sergey Praknevsky, and today it'll be a Mograph tutorial, and basically I'll be showing you how to animate a text like this. And usually, you know, it's pretty simple to do, but today we're just gonna go, let me step through this. Basically we're going to animate each letter slightly different, and I'm gonna select every other letter and I'll do something different to it. So I'll show you how to have more control inside Mograph with text. And by the way, this was created with few keyframes, so it's very quick to do. Very useful tutorial. I think you can learn from it. So let's dive in. Let's go into Cinema 4D, and inside here I'm just gonna go to Mograph and then do Mo Text. Let me show you a cool little technique I use sometimes when I have a lot of text. So let's just drag this in here, this to change name here, it's the same thing as doing it here. So let's go to click here and then go to basic properties and then name. So basic properties name, and then let's go into object and text. So let's control drag, duplicate this and delete this. We'll go object properties and text, and so basically you just connect the two, so whenever you change something in here it changes in here as well. So let's type our text. I'm going to do ucremedia.com, and I'll make it middle. Okay, align it to middle, and I'm going to pick a little heavy font. Let's see what we can find here. I'm going to do condensed. Let's do Helvetica condensed. I think this will work. So next, what I'm going to do a little, probably make it more thick. Let's go to caps. Let's do a little fill it. Okay, 1 second. All right, so let's insert some stuff here. You know, do whatever you usually do. This is good, but let's start animating this a little bit. So this is already a Mograph. So now all you have to do is just go to Mograph and Effector, and you can apply a step effector. It's a basic thing, you know. You can already push this up. Okay, so now we can go to fall off, and in here we can go to a thing called linear. And basically the way it works, and by the way, let's rotate it the other way. Let's go 90 degrees. So the way linear works is it just does it from left to right, or you know, it just does it one side. Unlike if you go to a step effector or fall off, if you do like a cube or box or something, it only does it with a box. But linear just does it like a line almost, you know, like on the left it does one thing, on the right it does the other. So let's do this. Let's do fall off slightly longer, and actually let's go to a different view. And let's animate this thing. So we're going to start from here, go to position, control click to set a keyframe, and then go about maybe, I don't know, 65 frames or so, and get to the end of it and keyframe that as well. So now we basically get this. So you know, you can go to parameter now and change more things. So I'm gonna put negative next to 1. That way it kind of reveals everything. So that's cool. Let's say you wanted to do also slight rotation. You can go and you play with the rotation here. Let's say negative 90 or something. You can barely see it because of scale, but you see it. And you know, right now it's rotating from the middle, like the middle here. Like, let's say if you wanted to rotate from the bottom, so you would go into text here and go to letters, and here's a pivot point you can shift. So you can just bring it down. So now it's just gonna come from below. So this is cool. All right, so let's say I want U, R, and you know, every other letter to do this kind of effect. And let's hide this for it now, and then make another one. And by the way, once just control click and drag to duplicate the step effector, and I'm going to label this rotation, and this one we're going to label position, and I'm going to activate that, and I'm going to put it inside the text here, letters. I'm just going to drop it down below that. We already have rotation in there, as you can see. So let's do position, and I'm gonna hide that for a second. So right now let's do position. So let's go to position and parameter. Let's turn the rotation off, and then let's, on the y-axis, let's bring it up some, maybe like 350 or something. So that's cool. That's what we want. So how do we make the two? How do we combine the two? I mean, you can activate both of them, and and go to the text and activate both of them, but you'll get like a I mean, it's still a cool look. You can just leave it at that. It's a cool look, and let's say you can bring also, if you select this and go to a delay, you can play with this and so go to effector, bring it up to 70 and make it like a spring, so then you get a cool little effect. So I mean, that's probably what if you want something like this, that's cool. But sometimes you want something interesting, sometimes you just want it different. So let's say I want to apply the rotation to one a few letters, and then position to other letters. To do that, if you hold or select your Mograph text and then go into a Mograph, and then right here it says Mograph selection, and basically the way it works, let me open up a new window for a second, just like you would do in a cube. If you make it editable, let's say you want to select this face and this face, and you want to apply a texture to this face, so you would go to selection and set selection, so it has a selection to it. And let's say if you have a texture and you say, hey, I don't want to apply it to the whole cube, so now you go to this texture, and under the selection tag you just drop that in there, and it only applies to the faces you selected. So the same way it works in here with Mograph. So let's say I'm going to select this text and go to Mograph selection, and then you see this little dots here. So if you hold shift and select them, like every other one, it's going to apply whatever effect to every other one, and I created a little tag here. So I'm going to label this tag rotation, and then I'm going to control click and drag into the side and to duplicate that tag, and I'm going to label it position, and in here go to tag. I'm just going to invert what I selected, so it's going to apply it to the other one. So basically we have one that's U, R, M, and so on, and this one is K, A, E, and so on. So now if we go to rotation and the selection tag here, we're going to say rotation, you belong here, and it's going to apply that effect only to our selection. And then if you go to position and you do the same thing, it will apply only to position. So now if you play it, it combines the two. So really that's basically it, the technique. And few things you can probably do, you can to make it more obvious, I guess, you can go to like position, for instance, and like maybe make it a little bit longer, so it's slightly offset or something. But other than that, that's really it. You can play around with delay effector. You can bring it up more, make it more crazy. I don't know why you would, but anyway, keep it under 70 or so. So yeah, that's basically it. So I guess next you would just create a texture. Oh, by the way, if you have a render farm and you want to push this through render farm, you'll notice that you'll have some I don't know, problems with it, because a lot of times delay effector, like each computer generates different delay. So then if you push it through render farm, you're gonna have some issues. So what you need to do before you push it through, just go right click and go to Mograph, and then Mograph cache, and you just bake your animation. So now you can scroll through it, and now it's baked. So every computer will read the exact same thing, and you'll get a better result through render farm. So just a quick tip about that. So anyway, let's do a quick texture. Let's make it, let's apply our texture in here, and then like open it up, play with here. Let's go for now, and let's do like an orange color or something like that. I like orange. Right, let's take this one a little bit to the red. Okay, and let's like the specular, let's do Well, actually, I'm not gonna mess with that. Let's do color. Let's do a little like orange as well. Maybe like a little yellowish orange. There you go. That's good. Let's do a little reflection. Maybe like Fresnel reflection as well. 20 and 20. So basically, we got interesting look. Let's light it real quick. I'm not gonna use global illumination for stuff like that. You really don't need to do global illumination because a lot of times global illumination is more for realism, if anything. So I'm gonna do ambient occlusion. Where is it at? There it is. Let's do best. So that's good. Let's bring some lights. I'm gonna do some target lights. I'm gonna zero everything down. And this is our front light. Let's spread it a little bit. Okay, maybe drop it down slightly. And then we can do just control and click and just duplicate the other one. Just put one in the back, maybe to the side a little bit, and maybe up. Give it a little highlight up top, and then duplicate it again. Maybe bring another one, but this time just down. And you can always grab the back two and drop it to like maybe 50, so it's not as hot. And then let's bring a camera in, null as well. I'm gonna hold Alt. Let's do cameraman, and let's zero everything down here. Let's look at our camera. Let's pull out on the Z-axis. Let's level this. So you have like a quick shot. Oh, actually, we're gonna do HD here. So let's do video, and then go to yeah, let's do full HD. So now you have a HD kind of look, and you can import some, if you want to do any kind of reflection, do HDRI, but just tell it to be reflection instead of like, for instance, let's go to content browser. I already have the HDRI here, so let's bring it in, and we can just copy it from luminance and turn it off, and go to like color and say paste. And now you can bring in a sky and just, let's go to layers, drop it on top of here, do a little compositing tag, turn scene by camera off. I don't want any shadows, none of that. Global illumination, don't need it. So I just want to see it by refraction, we don't need that stuff. So you probably won't be able to tell, or maybe like slight highlight you can tell slightly reflection, but it's probably too much, way too much. So you can go into your texture, actually blur it out some, bring it to maybe down to 12. Sometimes it can give you a little interesting look, just not as boring. That's good enough, and then you can see what it'll look like when it's animating. So yeah, play with these things. It's a little too hot still, but anyway, just play with these options. Keep in mind, you don't have to do global illumination all the time, especially if you don't have a render farm. Just basically, this tutorial is just a technique how to play with Mograph text. I hope you found it useful. Be sure to render this out, and do all your settings, and finish it up in After Effects. But yeah, this is basically a technique how to do this with Mograph, how to do different, affect different letters with Mograph text. And we used I guess an effector called, well, not an effector, Mograph selection to choose it like that. So I hope you found it useful. Be sure to come back next time. My name is Sergey, and thanks a lot.